I can find down here. A survivor. And she sounds close.
Who are you?
There's no need to be afraid. Are you alone? Are there any other survivors?
Some of the guards. They're still here. But something's wrong with them. Everyone else was eaten by the monster.
Of course there were.
Thank the Founder.
It was worth our coming. But I'd rather we didn't linger. Are you ready?
Ready when you are. You poor thing. He must have been terrified.
Did Chadwick send you?
What?
He fought the monster. Distracted it so I could run away. He must have sent you. He promised to free the others too. Where is he? He opened your cell, didn't he? He wouldn't be here otherwise.
Chadwick.
Was that?
Monster's back! Chadwick, help!
We have to get out of here.
Doris, keep the girl safe.
All right. You put that bearer-eating bastard in the ground.
It's out there waiting for me. I can't let it live.
We won't let it hurt
Not
you.
if it's got a taste for bearers. Beast will wreak havoc if it ever leaves the prison. I can't let that happen. Let it hurry. Finally.
Sid, are you hurt?
I'm fine. I think.
No.
What is it?
A diary. I gave it to Chadwick before we went our separate ways. He was here. Do you think that creature?
I'm sure he fought bravely to the last. The girl is safe thanks to him.
Chadwick. You fool.
Come on. We have to get her back to the hideaway. We don't want his sacrifice to have been in vain.
No. Of course not. I'll see that she's looked after from now on. It's the least I can do.
From what I hear, you've barely left the girl's side in days. I hope she's recovering from her ordeal.
She is. Slowly but surely. She's far tougher than she looks. I thank the flames we found her. If we hadn't...
I know. But we did. I'm sorry we weren't able to save Chadwick.
There's no need to apologize. Without your help, I would never have found out what happened to him. How he fought to the bitter end to save her. To save Haida Marie. That's the man I remember. The man I thought of as a brother.
I wish I could have met him. I'd like to hear more about your past. If you don't mind, that is.
Of course. You already met my former master. She trained Chadwick and I to do two things. Kill and obey. We were supposed to be sold to the highest bidder when the time came. But no bid was ever high enough to convince her to part with us. For years, we were her daggers in the shadows. But we could never quite shake our doubts about the things she made us do. And then, one day, we just couldn't do them anymore. So we escaped. But staying together was out of the question. They would have found us too easily. After so many years of training, the pull to serve was always strong. It scared me to think he might have taken another master, become a dagger in someone else's hand.
But even in captivity, the battles he fought were his own. And he died not as someone's tool, but as a hero.
Haida Marie is proof of that. Bearers can cast off their shackles. And the Cursebreakers will show them how. I'll fight until my dying breath to see it done. For Chadwick, and for all of us.
Thank you, Doris. We'll be counting on you.
Help you today, Clive? Here you are. Come again. I may have more for you.
Twinside's hundreds of leagues away. Crystals.
Vivian, I found it. The book you lost.
You found it. Thank you. Even though I asked this of you, I was not entirely sure it would be possible. I feared the executors had seized every copy.
I met with one of these executors, and I convinced him to let me keep it. He told me something. That the truth is just a matter of collective belief. And that if enough people believe a lie, that lie becomes the truth.
It does. But it also means that the truth is not immutable. That provided that those who wish to change it can convince enough people that their perspective, as the sad history of the bearers proves.
You said that the book inspired you to become a scholar.
It did. Or its author, rather. She was a heretic, you see. A firebrand and a dissenter. A gallows stood ready for her in every corner, and by shunning society, or perhaps being shunned by it, she stumbled upon a truth I, too, have always felt somehow set apart from the world of men. A stranger to my own species. She taught me that my solitude was not a curse, and that, though my journey to the truth might be a lonely one, what I found at my destination would be more than worth the cost.
Do you still feel that way? That you're not one of us?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure anymore. Since coming to perhaps the result of studying mankind from a rather closer perspective. But the more I study, the more I find value in... So if you'll permit me, I'd like to continue my work here. Remember, Clive, when enough people believe, belief begets truth. Give the men and women of this benighted world the gift of truth.
I'll try, Vivian. I'll try.
You should have seen him.
Welcome back, Sid.
Welcome back, Sid.
Yes. Welcome back. Trip wasn't too much. Truth be told, it was me who suggested roping you in to help, but from what I hear...
No, they most certainly did not. Ember lost his nerve in the face of a beast of prey, but he didn't lose heart. He pressed on, and he...
Indeed it is. Thank you for your honest appraisal, Sid. The fact remains, however, that Ember will not always have a battle-hardened warrior on hand to pluck him from the jaws of peril. All I have gleaned from this trial is that without someone watching his back, Ember is little more than a liability.
Wait, Sergeant. Ember still has much to learn, it's true. And this time he was found wanting. But I'd say he's due a second chance, nonetheless. After all, he did do as you asked.
With a bit of hard work, any hand can be made to hold a blade, and any mind can conquer its fears. But a scout's nose is different. You've either got one, or you ain't. And by sniffing out that log, young Ember here has shown he has a conk and a half. Wouldn't do to waste it now, would it?
Fine. One more chance.
I'll do whatever you ask. I'll spend my days and nights in the pit if I have to. I'll show you. Just you wait.
Daft as a brush, that one. But his heart's in the right place. Just like someone else we know. And if you ask me, we've been leaning on him for far too long. That time the curse breakers took some of the weight off his shoulders, I reckon.
It couldn't hurt.
Just don't tell Gav I said so, will you? I won't have him thinking he's been hard done by. Next thing you know, he'll be asking for a day off. Chance would be a fine thing. Back to work.
Forgive me, Sid. This did not play out as I expected.
Things really do these days. But that's why we need men like Ember more than ever. Men who can make the best out of a bad situation. Remember that.
I will, Sid. Thank you.
There's something about it. I feel like it's calling to me.
You alright?
Something troubling you?
No more than usual. It's just... Eda's baby will be coming soon, and I want it
I'm sure she'd like that.
back in the north. Families would always make gifts when I let the little tykes know they were welcome.
So?
Now, the problem is that Eda's due any day now.
Is there anything I can do to help?
You know,
All right then.
a good luck charm. But not just...
Not just any.
No. One made from the feather of a silver chocobo. There's naught lucky in all the realm. Oh, the thing is, they're hard to come by. Had Otto and Karen check with us.
Only the big day is fast approaching. And that's all you need.
That or the bird whose oar sits attached to, aye. I was gonna start by asking around with traveling traders.
Well, there's no shortage of those passing through Martha's. I think I might make that my first port of call.
You're a good friend, Clive. I won't forget this.
So, will it be?
And?
Say what you will.
Miss Shirley says your books made quite an impression on the children. You've inspired them all to become writers themselves.
I hear that you traveled. Did you by any chance
I did.
If I may, the bearer. The director was a brutal man.
The registry was all I found beneath. There was no sign of a body. Nor any record of...
I pray that at least some... All their names are here. My friends. I can still remember their children who were taken from their bunks in the morning. No explanation.
They'd be happy to know that you survived, Herman.
But why did I make it out alive?
It's not your fault. And see that their names live on. That way.
Thank you. Sid, I'm going to write a book. And all of Valisthea will know, and in the name of those I lost.
Neither will I.
These records would have been buried.
you were a tortoise, Torgor, where would you hide? Looks like we found him. I better get these materials to Mid so she can finish her prototype. Mid, tell me this is all you need.
You make it sound like I asked you to save the world or something.
Tell me this is all you need.
It's most of what I need. After you left, I went over the figures again, and I realised I'd forgotten a 1 and a 0.
And
a cogwheel. Just a tiny one. Gear's that small are a bastard to make, and I may have lost the one Blackthorn spent a fortnight toiling over.
wait. The children. When they took apart your scales, there was a... Now that I think about it, they didn't use it when we put the scales back together.
The young'uns? But why would the... You know what? I don't want to know. I'll keep working on the model. You go and find that cog.
Sid! Is Mid still...
She wasn't hiding. She's just busy working on her next...
A new invention? Is it an airship?
Do you think she'll let us help?
That just so happens to be why I'm here. She needs something special. A brass gear. A tiny one. One that might fit on, say...
Oh! The one you forgot!
We saved it, just in case. It's in the bag of bits.
Since your lesson, we've been disassembling, then reassembling everything. All the pieces that are left over, we keep under our beds. Just...
That's... good to know.
Look! I found it! Is that all? Just the gear? We have more parts if Mid needs them.
That's all for now. But I'll let Mid know about...
Thanks, Sid.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Not exactly. She seems to be occupied.
Well,
They did. And they kept it somewhere nice and safe. Will it work?
Will it work? He's perfect! You're a genius, Clive.
What exactly are you going to use it for?
Only the most important job of all. The wings aren't going to move on their own. But with the right cog in the right place... well, you just wait and see. That should do it. Here goes nothing. Titan's tits.
It wasn't supposed to fly, was it?
Of course it was supposed to fly. Wouldn't be much of an airship if it didn't. Honestly, these bloody engines are driving me mad. I was so sure this would be the day she soared. The Mithril engine was made to make dreams come true. But maybe this is one dream the world's better off without. Show folk how to take flying. It won't be long till they're raining death down on each other. People will lose their homes. Children, their mums and their dads. Like I lost mine.
I'm sorry.
So am I, Clive. So am I. Sorry that I have to choose. Do I follow my head? Or do I follow my heart?
Good question. The first time I stood on the deck of your ship, felt the wind in my hair. It was like I was flying. But imagine how it would feel to actually do it.
My dad always said there were two ways of living life. Chasing a dream or shuffling to your grave. And he were right. Right about a lot of things. Not that I like to admit it. People need dreams to chase. Especially in a world like this. Right. When this is over, I'm gonna take all my Mithril engines to Zemeckis and sling them over the edge. I won't have my dream end up turning into someone else's nightmare.
But all that hard work...
All that hard work will not be used for war, Jamie. But it ain't like it'll be gone. Tell me, Clive, have you ever been on a treasure hunt?
Not since Joshua and I were boys. Why do you ask?
Because I'm gonna bury the engine schematics and leave behind a little riddle telling people where to find them. A really hard one, so that only the most dedicated dreamers will ever be able to work it out. Ooh, I can picture it now. Some daft general squinting at the words with a gormless expression on his mug. Like that one, yeah.
Right.
Of course, if I'm putting this engine at the end of a treasure hunt, I'll still need to make it a treasure worth hunting for. Won't be much of a prize if it couldn't even make a toy boat fly after all. My dad always said, dream big. But it ain't the size of a dream that's important, is it, Clive? Only that it's a good one. And I reckon I've got a fair few good uns left in me.
I'm sure you do.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Not
Whatever should I write next?
A love story, perhaps?
Say what you will, Lady Karen has seen our soul.
If Joshua's worried about Jill... It's usually me making demands of Hippocrates. I wonder... Joshua, I don't think I'd realized how different, but since we returned from Drake's spine...
I suppose it's not hard to...
She doesn't think she belongs anymore.
And that's why we need to remind her, to let her know that we still need her. Now more than ever. That you still need her. But how to do that? When last we were truly close, we were but...
Of course. Do you remember the time we accompanied Father on his annual tour of the Duchy? And Jill and I broke from the procession to ride up Man's Hill.
To see the snow daisies. It was the first time Father had allowed us to join him. And when he realized you were missing, he had the entire retinue down to the pot boys combing the countryside.
In the rain. A thunderstorm forced us to take refuge in a grove of oaks before we'd even made it. It was the Lord Commander who finally found us, and needless to say, he was none too pleased.
Then it seems you and Jill have unfinished business. What do you say?
Man's Hill.
Oh, true. Though I suspect it is also much changed. Little in southern Rosaria remains as it was when we were children.
You're saying I should go and scout the area for...
I'm saying we should first go and see if there are actually still any snow daisies left. What would you do without me, Clive?
Lawsman Hippocrates.
Ah, yes.
You spoke of making amends with Dion.
Then I should begin by telling you that I was once his tutor. This was some years ago, of course. At that time, I was counted among the foremost scholars of Oriflamme, and to supervise the young princes, all to ensure that the future emperor had a firm grounding in, well, everything. And alas, our time together was cut short when Dion left to join the Dragoons. His study, I had not expected to meet with him again.
Have you spoken with him?
No, His Highness always seems so preoccupied, especially not when I know he dwells upon the evil Ultima had him commit in the Dominion.
The guilt weighs heavily on him, I know, but as you say, that was Ultima's doing.
When I first met him, it was not guilt, but his people's, and I did nothing to ease that burden. He bore it alone. It is one of my greatest regrets, and what he truly needed, the blame for Dion's transgressions, lies not only on his shoulders.
I see. I'm ready to help you in any way.
Then I beg that you bring me a wild wyvern tale. Apothecaries across the ages agree that even to glimpse such a flower is to be granted inner solace. Fabulists and fraudsters all, of course. But there is oft a seed of truth to be found where even the most outlandish opinions align.
Well, it can't hurt to try. Where can I find this flower? And how will I know it?
You have seen cultivated wyvern tails before, I trust. The lily-white blossoms from whose roots the poisonous ink for the brand is, well, those which grow in the wild differ only in their purple hue. The harsher the environment in which they are raised, there is a waterfall in Rickmal's roost across the strait, where the flowers once grew in abundance. Whether they still survive there, I know not. But try as I might...
It's all right. I'll find you a wyvern tail one way or another.
Thank you, Clive. And please, be safe.
This is the place, but...
I'm sorry, Clive.
Has nowhere been spared. What do we do now?
We keep looking. Man's Hill cannot be the only place where snow daisies grow.
Perhaps, but... it's the only place I know of.
Then why not ask someone who might know of another?
Someone at the backyard? To the hideaway, then. Let's hope one of the merchants here has what Gav needs. Excuse me. I'm looking for something.
Oh, well, then I'm your man.
A silver chocobo feather.
Oh, or maybe not. Though you're not the first. There was a man stopped by the rest not long ago claiming he was attacked by a silver chocobo. Near some gutted hovel not far from Eastpool. Most took him for a braggart and a liar, but who knows? Perhaps there was some truth to his tale.
We'll see. Thank you.
Just because the heavens have gone to rack and ruin, it don't mean we have to. Now, let's get this stall set out.
How do, traveller? You've the look of a man who could do with a new whetstone. Or perhaps a
Maybe another time. I'm looking for a silver chocobo feather.
If that's the case, rumours are no one has seen a silver chocobo for years. Word is they were all hunted for their feathers. Some northern nonsense about bringing good luck. Didn't bring if any are still out there. I reckon they'll be doing their damnedest not to be discovered.
You're probably right. Thank you anyway.
I've got greens of
Looking
all
for shelter.
shapes and sizes.
Sorry, I'll introduce you tomorrow.
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
Oh, 1,000 of the cash in jars couldn't hurt. Can I help you with something?
You wouldn't happen to sell silver chocobo feathers, would you?
I deal in fruit, not fancies. But if it's fancies you're after, I suggest you try Rhiannon's ride.
Was a silver chocobo seen there?
Oh, yes. If you believe the ravings of a madman.
It wouldn't be the first time. A silver chocobo sighted in the hills near Rhiannon's Ride. It sounds almost too good to be true. But since I'm already here... Run like the wind. Can hardly make out a blooming thing. Tracks. They're not left by bandits for a change. More tracks. And these look fresh. The chocobo was here. And recently. Perhaps it still is. hear anything. Well, I'll be damned. It's all right. I'm not going to hurt you. Just borrowing a feather for my friend. Thank you. Let's get this back to Gav before they change their minds.
No trouble at all.
Still, I appreciate it. Clive, you're back. How'd you get on? Any luck?
Any luck, you say?
Crystal's crack. Is this what I think it is? Where in the hell did you find it?
It's a long story.
Right there on the road to Eastpool. Who'd have thought it?
Everything up there's been abandoned for years. The empty cabin made for the perfect shelter. Though I fear my presence may have forced the poor creatures to look elsewhere.
Don't blame yourself, Clive. The Blight's right on Eastpool's doorstep. They'd have had to move on before long. Even if you hadn't have turned up. They'll find a new home. Trust me. After all, that's what us endangered animals do. Anyway, what matters is, you managed to nick us one of their quills before they could run off. And now all that's left is to fix it to the carving.
I didn't know you could carve.
Reckon there's a lot you don't know about me. Like the fact I'm as good with a whittling knife as I am with a sword. And that bone Ember gave me's a dream to work with. What did you say it was from again? An Avis?
But it weren't your Avis, Sid. I slew one of my own at last.
So all those long nights in the pit finally bore fruit. I'm proud of you, Ember.
Don't speak too soon. I ain't done my trial yet.
There we go. What do you think?
I think if you ever hang up your scouting cap, you'll be able to make an honest living.
Oh, will I? I should go and see if Ed is awake.
Give it my best.
You can give it to yourself. Come on.
Say what you will. This should tide us over till the new moon.
Oh. What brings you down from the heavens, Sid?
I need your advice. Joshua and I are looking for a place where snow daisies grow. Preferably in abundance.
Snow daisies. Then you'll want somewhere not too hot and not too cold. And where the winds are strong enough. I reckon Man's Hill would be a good place to start. There in the Royal Meadows, perhaps? Both have similar climbs and the right elevation. If the Blight hasn't claimed them yet.
Right. Thank you.
Did you learn where we might find our flowers?
The gardener here mentioned the Royal Meadows in Sambrek.
The fields beyond Northreach. Well, if that's the case, then Yote was right. I recalled that she'd kept a record of our travels, you see. So I asked her if she'd perhaps noted anywhere that snow daisies grew, and she mentioned Oilafeist Bay.
Whose shores border the meadows. Off we go then.
Me lords.
How are you feeling?
Well, thank you. Is something wrong?
Wrong? No, nothing like that. What it is...
Go on, please. It's beautiful. Did you make it?
We did, aye. It's from all of us here at the Hideaway. Your new family, like. It's a good luck charm. We may come up north when a band's on the way. I mean a baby. To let him know that they're part of the family too. Oh, I hope you like it.
I don't know what to say. I thank you, me lords, for everything.
If there's anything you need, just let us know.
I will.
Clive, fancy a swift off? I'm thirsty.
I could be convinced. Don't you think you've had enough?
No, we're celebrating. I'm gonna be a father.
I think Edda might have something to say about that.
You know what I mean. Bit of light in these dark times. Wasn't long after me 10th name day. My mum told us she was with child again. I was over the fucking moon. I was looking forward to having a little one to lord it over, what with me being the runt of the litter. Thought I'd finally have a chance to prove to the world that I could be a big brother. Imperials came the day she went into labour. Had myself a baby sister. And then I didn't. Me whole family gone in a blink, while I hid in the cellar like the spineless little arsehole I was. Great brother I turned out to be. I'll never be a leader. And I'll never be a hero. I'm just a daft little dog who comes running when his master calls. I'll never be like you, or Sid, or Jill, or even Torgal.
Have you finished?
Maybe.
Do you know why You're our best scout. Because you don't need anyone to hold your hand. Without your resourcefulness, your courage, your determination, I don't know where we'd be. Maybe hanging off a cliff like,
That was only the once.
Exactly. You learned from it. And here you are, after Founder knows how many missions, stronger for everyone. And let's not forget Rosalith. Who was it who freed me from the dungeon? Who was it who ran to Jill's rescue?
That would be me.
Because you're our brother, Gav. My brother.
Your brother.
Which means that when the time comes,
I get your room. And your sword. I may have had one too many.
you may have had 10 too many.
I said I was thirsty. Better get back to work anyway. After I walk this off. Clive?
What is it?
Thanks for, you know.
I know.
And how might I help the garrison today?
haven't seen any of those beastly blue... Do be careful.
I will.
Come on. Faster! Vast. Where do we even start?
Yote mentioned the coastline. We can start there.
Look, brother.
You see them?
I do. And ours. And our friends. What do you see, boy? Let's hope this is the last one.
Only one way to find out.
Help me, boy.
That was harder than I expected. But Founder, it was worth it. They're beautiful.
Do you think Jill will like them?
She'll love them. Come on. Let's go.
It appears my work is done. The rest, as they say, is up to you. Well, you and the skies. We wouldn't want another thunderstorm now, would we?
Jill, there's something I'd like to show you.
There is? And where might this something be?
It's, not here. Now, I know this is sudden, but how would you fancy a trip to Oriflamme?
There are so many. This is what you wanted to show me. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. The smile on your face is enough. We've been worried about you. Joshua and I. Do you remember when I took you to Man's Hill? Or tried to?
How could I forget? You saw me crying and thought a change of scenery might lift my spirits. In the end, it earned me a nasty cough and a stern scolding from your mother. But I felt wonderful nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was getting us both into. But I couldn't bear to see you like that.
Before we left, my chambermaid told me she'd overheard your mother talking about my marriage prospects with some of the noblewomen at court. They were debating whether it would be more profitable to marry me off to one of the high houses instead of saving me for the ducal line. No one thought to ask me what I wanted. I was nothing to them. A pawn at best. I felt so trapped. So lonely.
I didn't know.
But I wasn't alone. You were there. Your hand in mine as we ran for those oaks. And I knew then, no matter what happened, I would be all right. I'll never forget that feeling. Before we broke camp, the morning after the storm, do you know what I did?
No? What?
I slipped away from my governess to climb the tor. And from there I saw a sea of petals, all reaching for the sun. And I realized no matter how terrible the night, dawn would always come. That you would always come for me. And you have. Again and again.
Where do you see us? When all this is over?
I don't know. Not here, though. I think I've outgrown the twins. After everything we've been through, the realm just seems so small. I'll need some space to spread my wings.
Then that's what you'll have. And I'll stop at nothing to see that you do.
Much good at garlands, but it'll have to do.
I'll treasure it forever.
Thank you, Clive, for this, the flowers, for everything. It's exactly what I needed. You Oh, my treasure. We should probably be getting back. I expect the others are wondering where we are.
You're right. There's still much to do.
And we'll do it together.
Quentin.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll be asking more of me than a cask of Gotand gold. Go on, then. Propose. You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years. Was there anything else? Perhaps I can fetch you a meat pie as well.
I know it's a lot to ask.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family, and I cannot abandon them. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
what he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you're worried about, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know we will.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself we're family. Don't you trust us?
You know that's not what I'm...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves, and if you can do that, who's to say you couldn't convince the entire realm?
A stirring argument. I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall somewhat flat by comparison.
So you'll join us?
Where do you need me?
Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. He's currently in Port Isolde. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany you there.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Hopefully not for long. My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape. Uncle, the Field Marshal has agreed to...
Ha! Of course!
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port Isolde as we speak. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other? Who, exactly?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution. And I suggested a certain Imperial Lord Magistrate turned Liberator.
One of your co-conspirators?
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his. But yes.
Another outlaw, then. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier, eh?
Uncle. Assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, but luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward Rockford from a horde of bloodthirsty bandits.
It was more of a handful.
Well, the old battle-axe was so pleased. She had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush to follow suit.
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest convenience, would you?
Of course, Uncle.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with akashic?
You find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe haven. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive the interruption. Two such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends?
I can't stand the man!
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company are you expecting him to keep? The man's a criminal!
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw!
Once more onto the breach.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already exist. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is just. There will be disagreements, yes. And I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given us.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the signing of the Accord. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Triunity. Rutherford, my quill. Well, my boy, the stage is set.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall. And there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will. Thank you, Uncle. Time to fight.
this be Mickleburg?
These people aren't turned. And the village seems safe enough at least. What is going on here?
Ah. Did you, too, heed the call?
Heed the call? No, I came here looking for someone. To be honest, I wasn't sure I'd find him here. Let alone all of you.
Is that so?
What are you doing here? Is this where you live?
It is my home. The others, they heeded the call.
You keep saying that. What do you mean?
They came here to perform the rite, just as King Barnabas instructed. This village is their altar, where they shall cast their souls upon the gentle waters and give themselves to the Lord.
Give themselves?
Oh, Lord, cleanse us of our sins.
Let us be reborn in your loving arms.
Free us from the torment of this mortal realm.
They want to be saved. Forgive me, but did another foreigner like me come here? He was probably wearing a cowl.
You mean the traveler from Storm? Yes. He's staying at my house, toward the rear of the village.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'll go and greet him.
They seek the same salvation Barnabas did. At least the third chair still lives. Let's go and find him.
Excuse me. Are you with the Undying?
I am. And so it would appear, are you? Lord Rosfield, if I am not mistaken.
That's right, and you must be the third chair.
I am.
Cyril was worried for your safety. He sent me to find you.
Then I must apologize. I did not mean to trouble the bearer of the burning quill. Much less you, my Lord Marquis.
He said that you had failed to report.
I came here to study the followers of this new faith. But the more I learned of them, the more my own faith began to falter. You have seen them at their prayers, have you not? They devote themselves to the veneration of their Lord with a fervor I have never, praying night and day that they might be rid of their wicked, not that they might be granted respite from their worldly woes. Serve him with all of their being. I, too, swore to devote my life to the service of my Lord and Master, but this... And so I would see it through to the end. See these people safe, that they might do their duty to their Lord.
You do understand what their dream is, don't you?
I do, my lord. They would cast aside their wills and become a Kashik. I know that it may be hard to believe, but to these people, forgive me, my lord, but I must remain here. Did you hear that, my lord? Something is...
I'll go and find out what. An ether flood. Oh no. There must be something I can... Echoes as well. Found her.
Ready, brother?
Ready. What now? We meet again. I've killed your kind before. Damn it. Don't you die. Come on, speak to me.
I had to save them, that they might have a chance to find true salvation by devoting themselves to the service of their Lord. Just
as I did. When the Undying plucked me from the gutter and gave me a cause to believe in. A duty to serve was everything to me, and I would not deny them that fulfillment, even if they must become a Kashik in order to achieve it. Forgive me, my Lord Marquis. I did not mean to trouble you with this. My findings. Could you deliver them to Master Cyril for me? Of course. Your duty will be done. Look, my lord. They are saved. They are saved. Founder. I should get this report to Cyril.
My Lord Marquis, welcome back. I am glad to see you hale and whole.
I met with your third chair, Cyril. He bade me deliver his findings to you.
Thank you, my lord. He remained in Ash?
He died protecting the villagers from an echo. I buried him in Mickelberg. I'm sorry that I couldn't save him.
If you could not save him, no one could.
The villagers, they were believers in this savior cult. They prayed to their god that they might be unburdened of their will. Then an ether flood came. And your brother sacrificed himself that they might live, even knowing that that life was death. But
then he perished defending liberty. A hero's end. For the right to choose how one dies is no less sacred than the right to choose how one lives.
Sid would agree.
A noble ambition. To die for one's cause is the most perfect expression of one's. It matters not how misguided others might judge one's, only that the decision is one's own. We live according to the teachings of our order. We believe in them, for better or worse. That is our creed.
But he didn't die for your creed. He died to save them. And you still believe that what he did was right?
I believe that he believed it was. We of the Undying are not slaves, but willing servants. And this was his will, the ultimate expression of it.
All right. I'd like to know this man's name, Cyril. To know the names of all the Undying who've fallen in the line of duty. They died serving my house. It's only right that I remember them. That is my duty.
Of course. I shall fetch the Book of Martyrs at once. My lord, it has been, and shall ever be, the greatest honor of my life to serve House Rosfield. Though our duties may differ, yours is no less important. I pray with all my heart for your success. And were they here, I have no doubt but that every one of my fallen brothers and sisters would feel the same.
What do you want? And?
And how might I help the garrison today?
I haven't seen any of those beastly blue-eyed... Do be careful.
I will.
So, will it be? No scratches, all right? That it? Fine.
Twinside's hundreds of leagues away. That'd mean the crystal is...
How may I help you today, Clive? All yours. All done?
Seems this place has been flooded twice over. Purple flowers blooming next to a waterfall. Shouldn't be too hard to find.
Be safe.
Here they are. Might as well pick enough for a bunch, I suppose. Oarsman, I found the flowers you were...
You did?
I think I did.
You did indeed. My dear boy, thank you.
You wanted to make Dion a gift of one, did you not? Shall I invite him to join us?
Oh, I don't...
It's no trouble. I'll go and fetch him. Your Highness, would you do me the honor of accompanying me?
No. It is time, then.
No. Only to the shelves. Our lawsman has something he'd like to give you.
Master Harpocrates. No. I dare not show my face before him. Not after everything I have done. I have taken countless innocent lives, all because I was weak. I have sworn to atone for my crimes or die in the attempt. But were I to meet with him again, and see in his eyes what I have become,
then that is all the more reason to do it. Test your resolve. Prove to yourself, and to him, how strong it truly is.
You are right. I must, at the very least, offer him my gratitude. Very well, then. Take me to him.
Follow me.
Even now, I hesitate to approach him. What must he think of me?
You'd be surprised.
Master Harpocrates, pray, Accept my apologies for leaving your tutelage before my studies were complete. Your lessons opened my mind to a world quite unlike the one I had imagined from within the gilded confines of the palace. And I shall be forever grateful for the efforts you made to enlighten me.
Lift up your head, Your Highness. The deeds of youth require no apology. That you took the time to visit me says much about the man you have become. Now, there is something I would like to show you.
Is that a wyvern tail? The color is unfamiliar to me.
Because it is unique to those found in the wild. Something in the harsh environment in which they grow lends them this striking hue. Their roots are indistinguishable from those of their hothouse cousins, but once they bloom, the difference is immediately apparent. In this flower, I see you, Your Highness. Its roots were the roots of a wyvern tail, with all that implies. But they do not define it, just as yours do not define you. I want you to have it, that it might remind you of this truth.
Master Harpocrates, I would ask of you a service. Keep your gift until I have fulfilled my duty to the realm, for only then shall I be deserving of it.
As you wish, Your Highness. I shall await your return.
Our roots do not define us. No wonder my stepmother didn't like him. For reuniting me with memories I had thought long lost. I shall not forget this.
Thank you, Clive. Were it not for you, I fear I might never have found the right moment to speak with him. Not to mention the wyvern tales. I shall plant their seeds, that I might not disappoint His Highness upon his return.
I hope the soil in the hideaway is to their liking.
Why, these flowers bloomed in the bleak, black wastes of Waloed. I'm sure Nigel's yard will suit them to a T. When it comes to expressing one's gratitude, I find that words are seldom sufficient. Here.
What's this?
A stolas quill. Or more precisely, my stolas quill. 'Tis said that an owl's feathers are steeped in the wishes it hears over its long lifetime. All those words just waiting to pour out onto the page. So consider this my wish for you. That one day you may put down your sword and pick up that pen.
Well, when that day comes, I'll certainly have a lot to write about. Thank you, Harpocrates. It shall have pride of place in my chamber.
Clive.
Is something the matter, Karen?
Don't know. How clever of you to notice. But yes, something's come to my attention.
Go on.
It's probably quicker if I just show you. Here.
Some sort of crystal. Though, I don't remember seeing one that colour before.
Aye, well, that makes two of us. In all my long years of trading, both over and under the counter, I've never seen anything quite like it. They're calling them dusk crystals, on account of colour.
I see. And they could be used to cast magics.
That they can. Just like their brighter, shinier cousins. Difference is, they don't last as long. After a couple of goes lighting your pipe, they crumble away to nothing. That's how I heard about them. From crystal traders moaning that someone's been flooding the market with dodgy goods. And after asking the right people the right questions, and paying the right price, of course, I managed to get my hands on a sample.
I see why you're perturbed.
Hey, Hope. Do you feel that, Clive?
Yes.
All right, lads, that'll do for today. I said that'll do for today.
Yes, Chief. Yes, Chief.
Let's get this lot back to town, fill our purses and then our bellies. What did you two do now?
Please tell us you've bought another lantern.
Stay calm, both of you. Who needs a lantern when you've got one of these? All that work for a single spark. Well, there'll be no more sampling the merchandise today.
That sounded close, Chief. Really close. Really, really close.
Now, lads, what am I always telling you? Good things come to those who run!
Wait for us, Chief!
I've never felt a tremor this far inland before.
Me neither. But then, I'd never seen skies like these till a few moons ago, and it's been all change ever since. Come to think of it, the first anyone ever heard of these dust crystals was after you lot came back from the Dominion and brought this bloody weather with you.
Do you think the two things are connected?
Who knows? Could just be that with Drake's tail gone, the black market was running short of the good stuff. The Dominion's mines were the only source of new shards left in Storm after a certain evil outlaw decided to do away with the other mothers. And with the price of decent crystals going through the roof, traders turned to dealing in stuff they'd never have touched before.
The question is, who's selling these crystals and where are they? Wait. This color. They couldn't be from Origin, could they? No, that wouldn't make sense. I saw it form in the sky, and that was long after we returned from the Dominion. But if they didn't come from Origin or any of the other mother crystals, then... does that mean...
that you missed one? Aye. That were my thinking, any road. Another mother crystal we didn't know about.
I'll speak with Joshua. If you're right about this, we need to find it.
And quick, I'd say. On account of which, I'll take this shard over to Tomes for you. Get him to give it a once-over, case it rings any bells.
Right. Thank you.
And I expect you'll be wanting Jill's help with this, too.
Right again. I will. Let me go and find Joshua, and we'll meet you in the shelves.